tournament in women's football. The SheBelieves Cup. First, Japan against Spain. And Hermoso with the early chance, and it's helped in! Iwabuchi for a wonderfully improvised equaliser. Lucia Garcia, Spain retake the lead. Lucia Garcia, Yamashita gets there, Garcia finishes anyway. And what a start this is for Spain on their SheBelieves Cup debut.
England coach Phil Neville sees this as a fresh start in his long-term planning for the Euros. Rose Laval. And it's a fine save by Telford. Nikita Paris creeping round the back. And Telford rescues her country. Whipped corner.
So unlucky.
She was looking for it.
Definitely.
A little bit of hair pulling there. Press, lovely bent effort, 1-0. World champions ahead. Carly Lloyd, and that's what she does. England beaten here in the opener by the United States of America.
Well, the opening round of games went off with a bang, didn't they? We've got full commentary of Japan against England coming up for you very shortly. It's uninterrupted on the BBC iPlayer. That 2-0 defeat to the USA does mean that anything but a win against Japan today would all but kill England's hopes of defending their title this year. There is real pressure on Phil Neville after his team selection in their opener and a run of 6 defeats in their last 9 games. Well, the cricketers had Katy Perry perform ahead of their final earlier. Unfortunately, we couldn't arrange to get her here very quickly in time, but we do have the small matter of 146 England caps between us in the studio. Not between me, I've said between us if I've got any at all. It's just between you two. A very happy International Women's Day to Laura Bassett and Rachel Brown-Finnis. I'm wearing purple as well, very on brand there with International Women's Day, Rach.
Thank you very much.
Now, I have put the pressure on you there talking about Katy Perry, but Laura, there is real pressure, isn't there, on Phil Neville?
I think also, you know, the team really, I think as fans now we're watching with a certain level of expectation, and if we don't get that, you know, we are disappointed. And I think also, you know, we're all left a bit lost and a bit empty after performances, and we just feel like the next game's going to be that big performance that we're waiting for, and it just quite doesn't come. I thought it was going to be the Germany game at Wembley, and it wasn't, and then we've had to wait so long, and it certainly wasn't the other night.
I mean, what's bothering me is that there's no real pattern of play that we're seeing that, you know, if we're having to defend it a lot of times like we did against the USA, that we know we can catch them with. And you know, that is left blank for me. I'm not quite sure what our sort of USP is, what our DNA is. He talks about the fact that he's unwavering in his style, and I get that with some of the morals and the way he wants to play, but the actual patterns of play, the technical side of it, we're still falling short.
Japan themselves, well beaten by Spain in their first game, but that doesn't tell the full story, does it, Rachel? I know you watched their game, you were on commentary for it, and they were pretty impressive in periods.
Japan were in periods, but it was all about Spain, really. But I know we were reflecting on Japan. That goal by Iwabuchi was unbelievable. It's
goal of the tournament, you said already.
Well, I did. I pitched it as an early one, then Kristen Press went out and scored that beauty against England. But they always have fantastic technical ability. You know how Japan are going to play, you know, from the years that we played against them. They still play out of the back, but what Spain did was press them really high and really stifled that. So we didn't see too much elaborate play, but they can go long. They've got Tanaka starting tonight, who was exciting coming off the bench, alongside Iwabuchi. They are dangerous, and we have been less than convincing at the back.
We've got a good record against Japan, so I'm hoping that you know, unless people put it in their own back of the net, then we have got a good record against Japan. So
it would do that.
I know. But no, since then we really have looked dominant. So you know, I think this is the huge test. It wasn't the other night; it was tonight.
Well, there has been lots of talk about the team selection, particularly after the first game. So let's see how both teams line up for tonight's encounter. We will start with Japan. They make 6 changes, including a recall for goalkeeper Aikida. There's 3 alterations to the back 4, including a new centre-back pairing. Mamiki is recalled and should bring a goal threat from midfield. Iwabuchi keeps her place after scoring that stunner that Rach just spoke about against Spain, while Tanaka is drafted in to lead the line. So let's take a look at the team that Phil Neville has selected. He also makes 6 changes, one of which sees Roebuck replace Telford in goal. The fullbacks are also rotated, with Daly and Stokes coming in. The only midfield change sees Nobbs start in place of Scott. On the wing, there is a first international start for Kelly, while Ingham replaces White as the central striker. So there was plenty of chat, as I said, about who Phil Neville would select. After he did announce his team, he spoke to Katie Gornell.
Phil, given the run of form that you're on at the moment, do you accept there's added pressure to deliver a victory today?
No, we don't feel the pressure. I think the only expectation we do have is from the expectation from within that we want the performances to be better. We want the results to be better. I think results can influence people, and I think today the objective is for us to perform well. If we perform and get some consistency from the performances that we did the other day against USA and play that for 90 minutes, I'm confident we'll get the right result.
6 changes, but Lauren Hemp keeps her place. Was that always the plan, or did she play her way into the team after that performance against the USA?
I think there was always a plan for her to get lots of minutes in this tournament, but I think when a young player plays, particularly the way that she did the other night, I think it was a real standout performance where you just got to let her go again and produce that same kind of freedom, and I thought she was outstanding, and we want to see much of the same today. Hopefully we'll have more of the ball, hopefully she'll have more of the ball, and she'll be able to express herself even more.
It is a fresh-looking lineup, particularly in attack. You've got Chloe Kelly up there alongside Beth England. What's the message to those players?
Well, if you think about the front three, you think about Georgia and Jordan in midfield. We've got real energy, we've got real freshness, and we want to be on the front foot today. We want to play in their half. We want to be creating chances, and we want to be ruthless and relentless in our approach in terms of our attacking. And I think it's a great occasion for those front 5 to go out and express themselves, and that's the platform we give them.
Looking forward to it. Thanks.
So Phil there talking about wanting energy, ruthlessness, all the things that we all want to see from this England side. Laura, what does that team say to you when you see it on paper?
Well, it certainly tells me the front 3 of Hemp, England and Kelly, those 3 have been outstanding for club football. Yeah. In WSL, they've been outstanding, so rightly so. But I think me and Brownie both know that playing well in WSL is a whole different level, playing international football. You have to play it to... People can tell you, but it doesn't sink in, but to actually perform it. So I'm really excited for those 3 to play tonight and see what they can deliver.
There's so much pace in that attack. I mean, Lauren Hemp is scary, her pace, and she proved it against the USA. Yes, she had to track back a lot, so it was going the wrong way, but tonight she'll have the opportunity to really bomb forward. You've also got Rach Daly at right back. Leah Williamson played against the USA, more defensive Leah Williamson. Rach Daly will be bombing down that right-hand side. She'll be eager to get up and impress. You know, she plays in the US, so she'll have some home fans there with her. So for me, it's more of an attacking statement than it was against the USA, and I think he's right to go out with attacking players who can go and express themselves.
He did call that defeat to the USA damaging. What did you make of those comments? Do you agree with that, Laura?
I think, yeah, when international football, whenever you lose a game, you know, it is damaging in terms of you look at yourself, you maybe over-analyse yourself in some respects. So, yeah, they'll be hurt by that. I hope that's what he means, by damaging, and that they'll be wanting to come out tonight to prove a point. And certainly these girls now, you know, they have a point to prove and do it together because there's some exciting young talent in there.
When you look at that back four, you alluded to it there, Rachel, both 2 changes at fullback. Some of the defending against the USA was, I think, questionable at best in terms of closing down for both of the goals. Are you happier seeing that back four? Do you think that's a bit more robust? I
do think that our best form of defence is attack in some ways, as far as I think we're more effective as a unit pushing back Japan it is today, and making sure that they're worried about us going forwards, which tends to make them drop off, if you get me, rather than inviting on the pressure, playing a really kind of very defensive backline. So I think that could work for us. I mean, Carly Telford kept us in the game. In that first half especially, she made 4-5 saves that kept the score respectable at half-time. So when you're talking about damaging, I think in some ways that was damaging in that how much England had to do.
Well, it's almost as if you knew what was coming next, wasn't it? Because we are going to talk goalkeepers now, and we have been hearing from the girl who starts in goal tonight, 20-year-old Ellie Roebuck.
Since being a little kid, that's always been the aim. I think if anyone asks you what you want to do as a footballer, naturally you want to be the best in your position for your country. It's not really known for goalkeepers to kind of become established at such a young age, but I think really pushing the older goalkeepers for that place. I think it'll just create a nice, healthy competition. I sometimes forget I'm 20, so I guess everyone else does. I think I'm quite an old head. That's made me because I've had to move to Manchester at 15. I've had to grow up pretty quick. Obviously, I've worked with Carly for a while now. We get on really well. But I think a lot of people think goalkeepers are a bit crazy, but a lot of people say me and Carly are like the most normal goalkeepers they've seen. To be able to look at other people's styles and take that in and think, well, that might actually work, and kind of bounce off each other, I think it's really helped me in my development, so it's nice.
Well, we have seen that Phil's got a number of options at his disposal in goal. Rach, for you, who should be playing?
Ellie Roebuck, for me, is England's #1 at the moment. She's the one who's playing regularly at club level, and when she's been brought in at international level at a very young age, she's only 20, has done a really stellar job. Carly Telford did have a fantastic game, against the USA, but that's one isolated game. She's been in the squad for a long, long time and has not necessarily had a long run of games at England. Now, it's tough as a goalkeeper in an England shirt. You're either in or you're out, and that can last years. So it's a unique dynamic across the 3 goalkeepers as it is going to World Cups, Euros, 2 if you're going to the Olympics, in that you are training together all the time. You want each other to do exceptionally well, the best they can do once they're on that pitch. And I don't think any other positions kind of cope with that, because it is it's very unique. With Carly, how she's going to be feeling.
That was my next question.
Yeah,
because that must be tough.
It is. You're in a tournament, and at the World Cup, Phil Neville said he was happy to use one goalkeeper and then another goalkeeper. That is really tough in itself. What she's thinking now is, right, my job's done. All I could control was that 90 minutes against USA. Here we are today. I'm going to support. I'm going to make sure a warm-up is absolutely spot on, that I can do anything I can to support Ellie Roebuck in this game.
But I think, Brownie, when you were coming through the system, I think you knew that obviously you were patient, you take your time, and that maybe whoever's in front of you, you'll get your time. But I just think now, like, the amount of goalkeepers, 5, 6 of them, if they're playing at club level, if they get called, they could genuinely play. And I don't think, like you say, any of the outfield position, that genuinely happens. But as a goalkeeper, it's a really new territory that we're going into.
It is. I mean, it's the psychology of it. You've got to develop very, very quickly. That bounce-back ability. Instantaneously, you make a brilliant save, as Carly did on many occasions the other night, or you make a blunderous error that can lead to a goal. You've got to get over it instantly. Analyse it after the game's finished, but within that moment, it's got to be gone and back onto a level head.
But I think in the past, if a goalkeeper has made an error, you know that you've got the next game to back it up with stuff. I don't think these keepers know that, and I think that can be quite unsettling.
Well, Carly
for a
hasn't
keeper.
made an error and she's not in the team.
Yeah.
I think it's exactly how Phil Neville manages it. So what he'll have said to Carly is, you did a fantastic job in that 90 minutes. We're in a friendly tournament. It's an opportunity for all goalkeepers to get playing time. And she'll be happy with that, because you accept that that is how it is at England. At your club, you move to a different club. At England, it's very different.
You can't move country, can you? Now, one thing I did want to pick up on from that interview with Ellie there was she said goalkeepers are all a bit mental, a bit mad. I think we can... we know the feeling
100%.
having Rach in the studio with us. But this relationship that you talk about, it is quite unique, isn't it? Because no other position has this level of competition. Well, they do, and only one person can play.
Absolutely unique. I mean, you look at Carly, look at how many caps she's got. It's minimal for the number of years. I played for England for 18 years and got 85 caps. Most of those were in a concentrated period of, say, 6 or 7 years when I was the #1. Other than that, you're waiting 5, 6, 7, 8 years to, scrap out maybe 5, 10 caps. Now, not every position would accept, that constantly being on the bench. And if you're a goalie, you don't come off the bench to change a game. You take your chances when there are injuries. Ellie Roebuck's done that at Manchester City when Karen Bardley's been out injured and has done a fantastic job. And she's done the same when she's been brought in at England. And do you know what? Any one of, Carly, for me, Ellie Roebuck, both of them are doing a fantastic job. And he's got a tough job to decide who to take, to the Olympics.
Yeah, he certainly has. He's got a tough decision, it seems, to decide who's going to play the next game at the moment. Well, we're going to talk Japan a little bit shortly, but firstly, USA take on Spain later, of course, and our reporter Katie Gornall is out there already, and she's catching up with ESPN's Julie Foudy.
Yeah, working for ESPN tonight, but of course won 2 World Cups with the US. Julie, we were so hoping that England could have pushed you guys a little bit closer in that opening game of this tournament. What did you make of the USA performance? You always just seem to keep us at arm's length.
You know, I know there's been a lot of talk with Phil Neville talking about catching up, and I do think England has gotten so much better and has made so many great strides, but that actually was the best I've seen the US this year. And the best we've seen the U.S. since the World Cup, honestly. So it was next level, I thought, for the United States. They're a little bit fresher, having come off a little bit of break after Olympic qualifying, and they're qualified into the Olympics. Now they can just focus on, getting better. They've got a new coach, new energy. So I think that was a really good performance by the U.S.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the new coach, because obviously big shoes to fill taking over from Jill Ellis, but Vlatko Andonovski, it just seems to be a very smooth transition so far because you guys just keep winning.
I have not met a player who's played for him. He, of course, coached in our professional league here in the United States. I've not met a player who said a bad word about him. How often do you get that? That never happens, right? So not only is he really good tactics, technically, but he is a great player manager. And on top of that, you get a new voice. So right now, they are loving everything about Vlatko Andonovski.
Now, you guys have Spain later. Do you see Spain maybe as dark horses in this tournament? They looked pretty impressive against Japan in that opening game when they beat them 3-1.
Yeah, outside of the England game at the World Cup this past summer, I thought the Spain game against the United States in the round of 16 was the toughest game that the U.S. faced. And we know the Spanish culture, it's in their blood. They are born and raised on football, and they've done so well on the men's side. So it's nice to see the women's team finally catching up. It's taken a long time, but their youth national teams are doing great, as we know. So I think this is a team in the future. They're still a few years away. That's going to be very good.
What are you expecting then from the USA in this game?
Same thing they did against England, high press. Vlatko Andonovski loves to put them under pressure. He loves the Liverpool style of play, where on both sides of the ball they're very aggressive. And he knows that this is a Spanish team that's very technical, and if you're not putting them under pressure, they could slice and dice you. But it's going to be another really good game. It's not 90 degrees as it was in Florida, so maybe the pace will stay for 90 minutes.
And just finally, if I could ask you, obviously coronavirus is a live issue for everyone at the moment, but I just wonder how you think, how much of a concern it is for this tournament and in the US camp.
Yeah, when you talk to the players, they've all said, listen, if our medical team deems it safe to play, we trust them. And so they haven't been concerned. But just here in New York, of course, they called a state of emergency yesterday, I believe. And so it will be interesting. It's supposed to be a sold-out stadium. What happens with attendance, whether people pull back a little bit, I hope not. But right now in the United States, everyone's taking precautions. So.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. Julie, thanks so much for joining us. Back to you guys.
Well, Laura, I can't quite believe you're here because you were in the sunny climes of Orlando, and knowing what it's like in Salford, I don't really know why you've come back. But we are very grateful that you have. But of course, you were there to see that USA-England game in the flesh. They were impressive on TV, but they were probably even more impressive in real life. And they're not even in their full season yet.
No, that's right. They were electric and an absolute pleasure to watch. Although they're not in season, they have been in camp a hell of a long time. They met up in January. I think they've only had a couple of days off, maybe a week at most since January. So that environment, that culture is very much like a club culture. You have a lot of access to your players. And they have all their players together. All their main players are healthy and can contribute. And I just think they're, like Julie Fowley was saying, they are refreshed and revitalised under Vlatko. I haven't heard all players speak very highly of him. So, yeah, they really have gone on to another level.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing about, the Jill Ellis culture, the one thing that was maybe missing was the love of Jill Ellis. So what they have maybe added to their squad and the dynamic is the love of the manager. Oh, my goodness. What are we in for now?
Certainly is quite lethal, as we saw on Thursday, a lethal combination. Rachel, you did commentate on Spain. I alluded to the fact that you really enjoyed Iwabuchi's goal before, but you were really impressed with them in general, weren't you?
Oh, I was massively impressed with Spain. During the World Cup, and, that was a historic moment for them, being their first World Cup senior level. They ran the USA so hard in that World Cup. But the game against Japan, they were just on it from the first second. The first minute they could have scored. The second half, the first minute when Garcia came on, she could have scored with a first touch. A few minutes later, she did score, went on to get 2 and should have scored 3. They were dominant from start to finish. It was what Julie Fowdy said in her interview about Spain improving year after year and they're finally kind of here, they brought the technical side, the tactical side that Spanish football brings. But when we played Spain in the past, the fitness levels were way, way down. They are now on the rise in that respect. And the players that they brought on just added to that ferocity of performance against Japan. And more than dark horses for me for this tournament.
Oh, interesting. And of course, the Lionesses still got to face them in their final group game of this She Believes tournament. Well, USA-Spain does kick off at 9 p.m. You can watch that on the iPlayer. But of course, before then, it is the Lionesses versus Japan. And you may well remember they've already beaten Japan twice in the past year, including at last year's World Cup.
So a familiar foe, but will it be a different story? The stage is set for another World Cup battle with Japan.
Yokoyama. Ooh, and it took a good save and a flick off the woodwork as well. Stanway in behind. Chance here for Alan White for England. Yes, 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 yes. Stanway. Brilliant goalkeeping. The efforts tested Karen Barsley. Push from Samashima. Oh, goodness me. Right through and goal. Ellen White. Unkind on Japan. And here comes Awaguchi, another good save. England was shredded at the back.
Japan created opportunities in that second half, couldn't score.
England have won here by 2 goals to 0.
Well, they may have lost their opening game of the World Cup, Laura, but they've had some really good, not of the World Cup, sorry, of the She Believes Cup, but they've had some really impressive results and performances since the World Cup last year.
Yeah, they have, and they've got a young squad. So I think you have to be patient with these young players. So, yeah, I just think that we are waiting to see that performance and result. And I think England, like I said earlier, have always, they've underperformed against England, so they'll certainly be looking to put that right. But for me, I really like Sagita. She's a centre midfielder. She is willing to receive the ball under tight areas. She's always available, and she's just their link from defence to attack, especially in possession. So she's just kind of there. They're ticking bombs. She keeps them ticking over nicely, keeps the play going, just supplies the forward. And without that player, if you take her out, then there's something missing. So she'll be vital tonight. If they are going to possess the ball how they like to, she's vital in that centre midfield.
And when you do get it forward, for me, a player that really stands out is Iwabuchi, who scored that fantastic goal we just saw before in the game against Spain, which was ultimately consolation. She is, for all the technical and short play that Japan play out of the back and in midfield, she's that option to go long. So, Japan do like to do that, especially the diagonal ball. They like to play a long pass, not a hopeful pass, but one directly to a player. She's technically really fantastic, and she's one of the, it's a youngish squad, but she's 26, nearly 27. She's one of the ones who won the World Cup in 2011 with Japan, who has that experience that balances this relatively young squad, which, is all being prepared and being teed up for the Olympics.
And I was going to say, it's perfect timing for that, really, isn't it? They will want to keep this form going into the Olympics.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on them, like there will be for us for Euro 2021. When you're hosting a major tournament, it's a pressure, and you want to prove a point because it can be life-changing and changing for your sport back home, and that's exactly what you do. You do want to make sure that everyone's off their seat and excited about you and your team. So there is a lot of pressure on them, and they need to perform better than they did last She Believes.
Well, hopefully England will give us a performance that will make us excited for Team GB as well. We are going to turn our attention back now to the Lionesses because Emma Saunders caught up with someone who is making their first start of the She Believes tournament so far. It's the in-form striker for Chelsea, Beth England.
Thank you. Is it an issue having this on my lap? What do you think?
You just look like you're looking at your crotch. Sorry. And this usually works before this as well. That's another bad trait. Well, yeah, that's a bad trait.
It'll be your first competitive tournament as an England player. You've had experience playing in friendlies. So how do you feel about that, getting stuck in?
I'm super excited, obviously. Pressure knowing that the girls went out there and won it last year. It's coming home, it's coming, football's coming home, it's coming. It'd be a great experience for me. I've never been to America either, so that's going to be a nice new experience as well. But yeah, obviously, the most important thing is performing better and showing what England are, because I think after the World Cup, I think there was a lot of criticism on the way in which we performed, and
I think it's now time to just put a back seat to that. Forget it, it's a new year. There's an Olympic year coming up. There's a Euros next year. So focus turns to what we can do going forward.
And Japan and Spain, what are you expecting?
Tough games again. We know they're very ball-orientated teams, but as long as we know where to nullify their main threats and just play as we know we can play and get the goals in.
Phil Neville has said about yourself and Ellen White and the fact that having the two of you in the squad, he's got two of the best forwards out there. Do you talk to Ellen at all?
I remember when I made my debut for England, she texted me a lovely message, to be fair, congratulating me on that, and that meant a lot. Obviously, Ellen's been in the game for a long time now. She's known for being, again, a prolific goal scorer. She did wonders at the World Cup. I thought she was amazing, and to be able to even say now, compared to what 6-7 months ago, that my name's alongside her, knowing that Phil's calling me one of the best forwards with her, I think is a big honour for myself. And I've not had many camps with her because she had an injury when I first started.
Have to rethink the celebration.
Yeah, I think, no offence, Ellen, but I won't be doing that celebration. So, yeah, if it came to it, I'm sure we'd be able to think of something together, yeah.
Just finally, I think the biggest question to ask is, what's happening to Buddy the dog then, when you're off in the States?
Yeah, so he'll be going on a lovely little trip to Wales with my partner's family, spending a lovely week and a half there. So I'm sure he'll have lots of fun on the beach.
I'm sure you'll need him for the cuddles when you've got the jet lag when you
exactly,
get back as well.
Yeah. Hopefully he's not getting me up at 6 a.m. wanting to go out for a walk anyway.
I love that, a Lionesses game, but we've managed to get some dogs in there. Just what I like to see. It does pose the question, though, doesn't it? The girls said it in the studio on Thursday as well. Beth and Ellen, would you like to see them play together maybe at some point?
Yeah, I would, because look at Chelsea. Beth and Sam Kerr have took Chelsea to a whole new level, but their partnership, they're not rivals, they're not playing against each other or their egos, they're playing together and they're fitted in nicely. And I think that's exactly what Ellen and Beth can do. So whether that's a formation change, whatever, that's Phil's decision, but I definitely would like to see them play together at some point.
I think if he doesn't play them together, even as an experiment, it's proving his stubbornness. And unfortunately, he needs to kind of put what the team is really good at first.
Come on then, a very quick prediction before we hand over to the commentary, guys.
2-1 England.
That's what I was going to go with. So I'll go with 3-1 England, I'm going to go with.
It's lovely and positive, I like that. And hopefully maybe a goal for Beth England to get her off the mark, to get some confidence.
Yeah,
no brainer, she always scores.
Absolutely.
England for England.
In terms of where the rest of the creativity is going to come from in the England midfield, where do you see that? Do you think we could see another big performance from Lauren Hemp potentially?
Yeah, potentially, but also the centre midfield, Nobbs, Walsh, Stanway, it's the first time that they've probably played together, so, you know, it's very energetic, the movement should be nice and lively and creative, and they can get forward to support Beth England and Hemp.
So much optimism, exactly how I like it. And on that note, we have got a stellar lineup in our commentary box to talk us through this one. The holder of 93 England caps, Sue Smith, and Robin Cowan, who I'm not sure has even got a cap just yet.
Thank you, Kelly. Phone is on, Phil, if you want to make the call. I wonder if Sue would lend me one of hers. Team news and the full game to come here in Harrison, New Jersey. But first of all, before that all gets underway, let's hear both national anthems.
is Japan against England in the second round of fixtures in the SheBelieves Cup. Pressure on both after they both lost their opening games. England against the USA and Japan against Spain. England must win, really, if they have any chance of retaining their SheBelieves title after that 2-0 defeat to the United States. For Japan, a much improved performance needed after they were outplayed by Spain. Very pleasant 11 degrees in Harrison, New Jersey, much different from the conditions that all four sides taking part in this tournament had to experience in Orlando, Florida. Very sticky, very humid. Perfect conditions for playing a game of football here. And of course, USA, Spain to come, 9 o'clock. You can watch that on the iPlayer. Should be an absolute cracker, that one. Here are the two teams ahead of this one. 6 changes for Japan. Sakiko Ikeda is in goal. 3 of the back line are replaced with Shiori Miyake and Meo Doko forming a new centre-back partnership. Sato Maegawa comes in at left-back. Captain Saki Kumagai, who had a difficult evening against Spain, drops to the bench. Yuka Mimiki comes in as a winger. She scored 2 goals in the SheBelieves Cup last year. And there's a new partner up front for Mana Iwabuchi. Mina Tanaka came on as a sub against Spain and impressed enough to earn a start. And here is the England lineup, 6 changes for them too. Ellie Roebuck starts in goal. Rachel Daly is in at right back. Demi Stokes replaces Alex Greenwood on the left. Jordan Nobb starts in midfield, and there's 2 new faces in the forward line. Beth England comes in for Ellen White. Lauren Hemp keeps her place on the left, and there's a first senior start for Everton's Chloe Kelly. So as we were saying, actually, Sue Smith, looking at the England lineup, lots of changes, an inexperienced forward line, but exciting one.
It really is, and I think it's important for England today to not only get the result, but also get a very good performance. And I'm so interested to see how the new look front line does. They very much deserve their starts from fantastic performances in the WSL. This is the next step now, so let's see how they do. And like I say, it's exciting, there's energy, there's quality there, so yeah, it should be good to watch.
2 coaches, Phil Neville and Asako Takakura, facing off once again. England beat Japan twice in the last year, at the SheBelieves Cup last year, and more importantly in the group stages of the World Cup. 2-0 win, Ellen White scored both. She's on the bench today. As Japan try and fling it forward. Not the greatest of clearances to start for England, and an opening shot inside the first 15 seconds for Japan. Ellie Roebuck, though, not forced into a save.
Yeah, that was a nervy start for England, a poor clearance from Steph Houghton, and you can see that Japan want to start well. They'll be really disappointed with their performance against Spain. They'll want to put things right in this game.
The manager was pretty scathing in her remarks after the game. Understandably, as the pundits in the studio were saying, pressure on them with the Home Olympics coming up. This is sloppy from England, but that's good from Millie Bright stepping in. She's lost it, though. And it's Nakajima whose pass is cut out, and that's coolly done by Rachel Daly. Sends it forward towards Beth England, who's going to try and shut off the angle. Doko will send it forward. With a careless start from both sides in terms of possession. There is that long diagonal from Steph Houghton, which she didn't really attempt against the USA.
She didn't, and that was on, because the way that the US like to play, the switch of play, Kira Walsh did it a couple of times. But I also think today that can be on Japan when they're defending. They do like to defend narrow.
Offside flag is up. All USA refereeing team today, led by Ekaterina Koroleva. And it's Mina Tanaka, who looks like she's going to be the furthest forward for Japan today. Still in that 4-4-2 formation. Now it's England's turn to get caught offside. Lauren Hemp.
Yeah, I think you're right, Robin. I think she'll be playing on the shoulder, using her pace. Iwabuchi will just play in behind, and she'll be looking to get on the ball and make things happen from a deeper role.
It's a lovely crossfield ball. Bit of a heavy touch from Nakajima. Daly into Kira Walsh. Jordan Nobbs handed the start today, came off the bench against the USA and did make a difference. England's trying to find Lauren Hemp. Oh, that's a mistake from Japan. Hemp is in! Corner kick. The goalkeeper did have to make a save. Lauren Hemp so close to her first senior goal for England.
Absolutely brilliant from England. Initially, Beth England putting the pressure on, plays the ball through to Lauren Hemp. I actually thought that was just going to sneak in the corner, but this is what she provides. You know, when she gets herself into these positions, she will test the goalkeeper. She'll feel herself she should have scored that. It's a good opportunity. Good play from England.
From a Japan perspective, goodness me, I mean, that was pretty much a carbon copy of one of the goals that Spain scored. That is not good news for them. Stanway is going to deliver this corner. Low to the near post. I wonder if she did mean that and hoped that there was a runner there. Nobbs exchanging passes with Stanway. Crosses charged down into the arms of Ikeda.
Yeah, you're right, Robin, exactly the same situation when they played Spain. They do play a very high line and it's often very disorganised, so if England can get the ball through to the pace of Hemp, Kelly on the other side, certainly got a chance.
Just one defeat in 6 for England against Japan. That was that heartbreaking semi-final loss in the World Cup in 2015, but generally a very good record against the Japanese. I'm sure they would have watched that Spain game back and seen the defensive frailties that they showed.
I think that's probably why they've made so many changes, particularly in defence. You know, Endo playing at left back isn't a natural left back. She's caught out of position so many times, so Maya Gower was obviously coming into that position, but you could see straight away from that chance that line is still very high.
Debbie Stokes of Manchester City to her teammate Lauren Hemp. Who did come out of that USA game with a lot of credits in the bank. Very good performance from Lauren Hemp. England, that's a nice flick on. Jordan Nobbs, though, not quite as precise with her pass. England to close down. Nice play from Kira Walsh. Started all 7 friendlies, Kira Walsh, since the end of England's World Cup campaign. A real favourite of Phil Neville. Some neat feet. Nakajima was caught off the ball. Free kick to Japan.
It was a good tackle from Rachel Daly. I think it was the one previous, wasn't it? Yeah, that's the one there. Just a little bit late.
That's the one. Really interested to see Chloe Kelly. She's had such a great season, although I think mainly playing through the middle for Everton.
Yeah, she can play either side, can play through the middle. I'm really pleased for her because I think she's another player that certainly deserves her start and see what she can do.
Bolton gets ahead to the ball, but again, clearance falls for a blue shirt to Japan. It's a wild effort.
That was a problem when England played USA. USA were picking up all of the second balls. It was maybe Park cleared, but then it was USA that were getting onto them, exactly the same as that situation there. So just have to be aware, a little bit sharper in the middle of the park.
A bit of a heavy touch from Horton, but she's made up for it. Finds her centre-back partner, Millie Bright. Rachel Daly coming into the side. Phil Neville did say that she's very much in pre-season, so perhaps her playing time will be limited during this tournament. Stanway, lovely ball. First touch from Kelly, takes it away from her. It's nicely played by Japan. Miyake bring it away. Lovely ball from Horton. Daly. Precision not quite there yet. Bucci's made the run forward. Here's Miura. Sending it forward. This is nice play from Japan. Good tracking back from Lauren Hemp. Miura picks it up. Iwabuchi. Now Risa Shimizu. Only one of that back four who's kept her place this evening. Doko. It's neatly done. On the shot, and it's a good save by Ellie Roebuck.
Really strong hand there from Roebuck, and that's what England have to be really mindful of. They find little pockets of space just in between the defence and the midfield. It's a decent effort, and it's a very good, strong hand to put it out for a corner.
Was Hina Sugita, who Laura Bassett highlighted in the pre-match build-up. Very neat and tidy midfielder.
She knows her stuff fast, doesn't she?
Oh. Not cheap, though. Bring her in here, all the way from Orlando. It's well defended by Millie Bright. Japan starting to dominate the ball. Back up the possession stats. Here is Sugita. Ricochet does favour Japan. Very congested right on the edge of the penalty area there, and another pot shot this time from Shimizu. Starting to shoot from range, Japan, aren't they?
They are, and I think that's probably down to how England are defending. They're trying to keep it very compact and very narrow, and saying to Japan, you're not coming through us, you need to go round us.
It's also interesting hearing Rachel Brown-Finnis basically saying that Ellie Roebuck is England's #1 at the moment, should be. Doesn't have a lot of caps to her name. This will be her 5th. But in terms of game time, the club, she's played an awful lot for Manchester City.
Yeah, and you'd have to agree. I thought Carly Telford was excellent against USA. I think she certainly kept the scoreline down, but Ellie Roebuck's been brilliant at club level, is a regular starter, and I think that's the most important thing. So, yeah, have to agree with Rachel Brown there. even though she did call me old in the last commentary.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Can't get away with those sorts of comments. We're always listening. Right, sends it forward, out of play. A sloppy start really from both sides. That's a mistake. England! She should have scored. It was a good save from the keeper. Too close to her. England with a couple of very good chances from Japanese errors.
Yeah, the form that she's in, you would expect her to score from that position. She certainly looks sharp, getting herself into those positions, but yeah, either side of the goalkeeper, it was too close.
21 goals in all competitions at England. Scored both goals in the cup final against Arsenal, which Chelsea won for the first time, the League Cup final that is.
I think this is the opportunity here again, just a mistake, and straight away Chloe Kelly, brilliant ball through. Good first touch from Bethany England, puts it on a plate for on her right foot, but just too close to the goalkeeper. I think because she's been so clinical for club level, we expect so much from her, don't we?
That may happen, we should say that as a disclaimer, that we have very high hopes. Because pretty much, you put your house on it, don't you, when she's in a Chelsea shirt. That's a very good pass. All the goalkeepers come, and she's retreating now, Chloe Kelly. Well, again, perhaps she was on a bit better with that. She had options. There was a red invasion coming in to the penalty area. England do win it back with Georgia Stanway. Walsh is crowded out.
Pace of England though either side certainly causing Japan problems, but yeah, Chloe Kelly, if she'd have just got a head up there, I think it was Jordan Nobbs was just coming in on the edge of the box. Just a little cut back to her.
England allowed to turn. There's Nobbs. Delivers towards Hemp. A great defensive header that was from Shimizu. We should also note that, like the USA, in terms of domestic season anyway, Japan are out of season, so perhaps a little bit rusty. Unlike the USA, of course, not been in Olympic qualifying because it is a home tournament. Had a few friendlies against opposition that, let's just say, wouldn't really test them. Patient play from Japan. The cross is delivered straight into the arms of Roebuck.
It's a nice bit of skill there on the left-hand side, but then it was just the quality of the delivery wasn't quite there from Japan.
Kelly dispossessed. Kojima delivers. Bright gets a toe to it. This might be the first corner. Steph Horton can't prevent it. Another corner for Japan. Kojima. lost all 4 World Cup games. Disappointing showing in the end for Japan, knocked out in the round of 16 by the Netherlands. I'm not sure Robot got much on that. Instead, England are making a meal of clearing this. Eventually it is sent away from the England goal.
It's certainly been something that they've been working on and wanting to improve on, the defensive set pieces, crosses into the box, and I thought they were much better against USA in that respect.
It's been difficult post-World Cup for England. Performances haven't been there. I think the players have been very honest about that.
Yeah, it's not good enough, is it? I think, again, because the expectation's so high, get to a semi-final, nearly getting there to the final, and 2 wins out of the last 9.
I wonder if also it's to do with it's all friendlies, isn't it? They haven't had to, even though obviously if they were qualifying for Euro 2020, it probably would be against sides that they should easily put away. Maybe that would have been a bit better for them, but obviously isn't there, and the flag is up.
Yeah, I just think from the World Cup there was that hangover, if you like, but then I think this is their chance. Did just stray offline. It was a good line from England, but then you can't keep saying it's a hangover.
No, that's a long, I mean, I don't know how long yours lasts, Sue, but Lily Bright, excellent season for Chelsea. So a very exciting title race to come. The back end of the WSL season, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City still very much in it. That looked like a foul throw, but I think we saw from the previous games those aren't really given, are they? Shimizu.
I think with England having the extra player in midfield, they just have to be patient, find an opening, and then when you can find one of those midfielders, all 3 of them are comfortable on the ball.
There's Mayaki. To Maegawa. Kojima called up for the foul. Daly herself is in pre-season, lining up for the Houston Dash once again when the NWSL season starts next month.
It's definitely a foul. Rachel Daly got in front of Nakajima.
Daly goes long. Now Hemp have made the run. It's like Kelly and Hemp have switched sides. Mamiki. Scored against the USA and Brazil in last year's SheBelieves. He's won a foul. Takes it quickly. Kojima's there. The layoff. Tanaka trying to get onto it. Instead, it's England who get possession back. A bit more tempo needed, I think.
Definitely, I think because Japan like to keep the ball, you know you're going to be without the ball for long periods of time. I think when England go and they go quickly, they cause them problems.
Kira Walsh turning into trouble. Sugita, now Nakajima.
The thing is, you can't take too many touches against Japan, particularly in the middle of the park, because they will surround you and win the ball. They work so hard off the ball.
Shimizu's delivery. Wright got there first. It's dangerous from Jordan Nobbs. But a good decision in the end, because England have worked this very well. Stanway just overran it. Walsh. Flag is going to go up. That looked very tight. Lovely northeast accent coming out in Jordan Nobbs. Not convinced by that decision.
I think it was very tight. I can understand why Jordan Nobbs, I think we'll see it here. This is what she's done so well. Yeah, she is offside. I was wondering if the centre half, I don't know if she was playing her on, but yeah, it was the right decision.
Well, that is where England can find some joy, though.
There's so much space, either in the channels or in behind. And I think when the ball's played back, it's those runners then, particularly from midfield.
Again, is it Beth England who's offside? Really nice flicked-on header from England's number 9. Into Stanway. Beth England. Again, the flag is up. 3 or 4 offsides in quick succession. They're going to get one of these, though. They're going to be away.
Yeah, because she is on the shoulder. She's checking. She is offside again.
Good decision.
Yeah, it was. You could see she was checking a run. Wanted it a little bit sooner. But if she can just curve that run, keep herself onside. We've seen a couple of occasions that they have been through.
Gow's touch took it away from her. Nobbs gearing up for the early cross, instead finds Hemp. Nobbs closed down. Now Daly. Sloppy. England could be in a bit of bother here. Still a long way up the field to go, though. Threaded through ball. Doesn't quite find its intended target. It's back to Iwabuchi. Now Sugita. Iwabuchi. Space down the side for Tanaka. She was trying to pick out the Miki, but only found Georgia Stanway. Nobbs invites Beth England forward. That's a really good ball. Beth England willing to run the channel. She's got Chloe Kelly ahead of her. Here is Stanway. Nice turn. That's a really good block. To just take the sting out of the Georgia Stanway effort.
That was unlucky. You know, and I'm all for playing nice football, playing through the thirds, but sometimes you can just turn them around like that. Beth England's a willing runner, will run the channels, and then she's good at holding the ball and waiting for players to come up and support. It's been my only criticism that she has been a little bit isolated at times. Players have tried to get in and around her, but could England maybe do that a little bit quicker?
Miki back to Risa Shimizu. Iwabuchi, not really a traditional centre forward. Here she is sending in the cross. Quite got a foot to it. Daly and now Nobbs. Onto the loose pass, Stanway. It's cut out. folks who know this isn't great, but I was at Wolves Brighton yesterday, and this is already 100 times better than that.
It's just been a bit sloppy from both sides, hasn't it?
Another stray pass, this time from Beth England. It's Tanaka trying to work the opening. Deflection. Takes it wide of Ellie Roebuck's post.
It was just a straight pass this time from Beth England, and straight away Tanaka, that's what she'll do. She'll run at you. She'll try and get that little bit of an opening. You know, she's got quick feet, good balance, can go both ways. Good defending in the end from England, both Millie Bright and Steph Houghton closing her down.
Rare start for Mina Tanaka, her 27th and her 41st cap. Nakajima sends it in. Bright gets there first once again. Sugita. Nakajima. On there, the blue shirts of Japan. A reminder, you can watch the next game on the iPlayer from 9 o'clock, USA versus Spain. Complete the second round of fixtures in the SheBelieves Cup tournament. Kira Walsh has lost it. No foul, says the referee. Iwabuchi will try and dig this out. And Bright slides in. I wonder, the World Cup, if the video assistant referees would have taken a look at that, see if that was handball. Thankfully, no such distraction here. England on the attack with Chloe Kelly. Neat turn. Trying to beat her player 3 or 4 times. And the cross only finds the gloves of Ikeda. Sugita to Maegawa. Tanaka finding space between the lines. Shimizu couldn't take it under her possession. Touch, Jordan Nobbs. The referee's going to play the advantage here. England making her move. Beth England! Another good save from the keeper. And cleared by Shimizu. And they keep going. Nobbs thought about the shot. Instead, here is Lauren Hempt. Pressure from England. Stanway. We know she has the long range, spectacular in her locker.
She's certainly got the ability to do that. What a lovely little touch there from Jordan Nobbs. But she doesn't just admire it, she then continues her run forward, and it's her ball into Beth England. Good movement this time. Beth England stays on side on her right foot, but again, just can't quite get it either side of the goalkeeper. Certainly coming though.
She was right to take it first time.
Yeah.
goes down. Overlapping run. Daly deals with it. Push in the back on Beth England. Such aerial ability. I think she's won pretty much every header.
Yeah. And that's the thing, it was good play from England, eventually goes back to the captain, Steph Horton, she plays it forward, and you know that Beth England's going to win the header, so it's just a case of then gambling, and it's exactly what Georgia Stanway tried to do, either played on.
And sees the foul. Ball over the top may have done for England. Ellie Roebuck gathers. Tanaka was tantalisingly close.
And it was good defending in the end from England, but she just got in between the two centre-halves. Clever, intelligent run, that's what they can do. I think this is it here, it's just a nice ball. You can see she's just in between the two centre-halves. She is onside. In the end, I think it's really bright. Puts her off, and Roebuck's off the line quickly.
It is the defensive side that has been the most concerning facet of England's run. Those 9 games, they've lost 6, conceded at least twice in 8 of 9 of them. And just the 1 clean sheet. And 1-1 against Portugal during that run. And again, we see Phil Neville changing his back 4 today. I think we pretty much expected it. At least we see Steph Horton and Millie Bright playing back-to-back games, which has been not often enough, really. Foul on Chloe Kelly.
No, you're right, and particularly with the back line and goalkeeper, you want that consistency to build relationships. Good defending there from Kelly, getting back, helping Rachel Daly out. I understand you need to give players opportunities and chances, but if you do want to develop a consistency, you have to play players together.
It's true, and this is the place really to perhaps experiment a little bit, because we're ignoring the Olympics, which Phil Neville said they are with this camp, banned from talking about it, I think he said. The Euros aren't for another 18 months. Sabita. Stepping in. Anticipation from Rachel Daly. Might fancy a run. Finds Jordan Nobbs off, just slips at the vital moment. It's good covering from Chloe Kelly, just in that right back position as Daly was up the field. England. She spotted a handball, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's what she was saying.
Certainly not offside. That's a good ball. Good couple of first touches, and the third one from Tanaka sends it wide of the post.
Roebuck actually gets a hand on this as well. She is onside, well timed, this time in between the centre half and the full-back. That big touch out of her feet just takes her that little bit wide. With the angle's difficult then, that touch from her knee. I think it was probably going into the side netting anyway, but Roebuck has to make sure.
Look lively, Tanaka. Luka Mamiki to take the corner kick. Again, Millie Bright is first to it. Hemp with the driving run. Still going, Lauren Hemp. Picks out Kelly. Just crowded out. One of the trademarks of Lauren Hemp's game, the rampaging run. Chloe Kelly dispossessed. Our SheBelieves Cup coverage continues later tonight, 9 o'clock on the iPlayer, USA against Spain. That should be a really good game, both sides winning their opening one. And then England's third and final game is on BBC 4 Wednesday, 9 o'clock, up against Spain. As does all come to an end with USA against Japan, which will start at midnight. Problem here for Japan.
Yeah, I think Shimizu just rolls her ankle as she makes that challenge on Chloe Kelly. It's a really good challenge, but it just looks like, is it a right ankle? I think just goes underneath her. Hopefully she'll be okay.
Still yet to really spark into life. I think England in particular, Beth England, has shown a couple of really good touches and perhaps should have done slightly better in front of goal. But really had that spark yet, have we?
No, and I think Jordan Nobbs has made some good runs from midfield, causing that overload. I think I mentioned earlier, because they've got that extra midfielder, it allows Jordan Nobbs to maybe get forward. If she is in the midfield, then you can get Kira Walsh on the ball. We know how good she is at spraying passes. But yeah, it's still a little bit quiet. As exciting as we thought it might be.
Always have high hopes going into this. Well, Shimizu looks like she's going to be able to at least test herself. They're ushering her back to the stretcher. Let's see, she desperately wants to play on, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She's had a good game, hasn't she?
She has, yeah, and I thought she was actually okay against Spain. And she was the one that played the ball for Iwabuchi. I think this is where you can see it. If you just see, just goes underneath her. It's not nice to watch.
Ouch. Looks like they're holding off with a substitution at the moment. Continues to receive treatment, Risa Shimizu. You're absolutely right. I think she was good against Spain. They targeted the other side, didn't they?
They did.
Bright penalised. Not happy with that decision. Strength from Millie Bright. One on the end of that ball. take. Tanaka. There's a 4-4-2, very fluid, isn't it? Especially the two front players.
Yeah, the movement's great. And if you watch Sagita as well in the middle of the park, so intelligent with her runs. And that's where, from an England perspective, defensively, they have to stay patient, stay organised. You can't just chase around.
Very compact out of possession. Steph Horton wanting some more options. Trying to look for Hemp. Bright allowed to stride forward, giving it away. Mamiki. And Shimizu clearly can't continue. So it is Jun Endo who got that, had that torrid time as a left back against Spain, a position that she doesn't play. Usually an attacking midfielder or a forward. We'll have to wait and see if she is going to line up on the right. I'll be slightly further forward, I think, with Mai Gower coming to this near side. I think she'll thank her manager for that, Janendo, won't she? Please don't put me in the back line again.
Yeah, I think Maya Gower's just covered in there.
Lauren Hemp told to calm down. I'm sure many of those words she took on board. There it is, first half, a very uneventful first half of this second game of the SheBelieves Cup. Nip and tuck between England and Japan, cancelling each other out at the moment. Hopefully it'll burst into life at some point in the second half at the Red Bull Arena. Half-time, Japan 0, England 0.
Well, Laura, you said before the game that you were looking for a performance to excite us. You've been looking for one ever since last summer, really. Was that first half, did you see any signs of the performance you're looking for?
Yeah, I saw signs of it. I think it's a really open game. Both teams are in it. The things that I am positive about is we've had 2 one-on-ones. So really we should be 2-0 up. At international football, you have to be ruthless. In the World Cup, the form that we had, I think we would be 2-0 up. So it's a positive that we're creating those chances. Disappointed that we're not taking them because we are a top team now and we need to be taking those chances. But it's certainly open, but I think England have just edged it. So there's signs. If we can take it to another level in the second half, that would be the positive performance and score and be ruthless. That would be positive, sure.
Yeah, positives as well. The front three, I mean, Beth England's been outstanding, had a couple of chances. Lauren Hemp and Chloe Kelly down the right have provided, you know, pace across that front three. And we were talking as well during the match that they, at times, are quite narrow, which means they're all a goal threat. So that, for me, has been exciting and positive.
Well, England have had more shots in that first half than they did in the entirety of the game against the USA. These 3 chances in particular. Rach, you were getting very animated watching these. That was a good chance.
Well, Lauren Hemp created that herself. She hustled the defender, but it starts because all the players, Chloe Kelly, George Stanway, were all pressing high up the pitch. And you see the raw pace of Lauren Hemp puts the defender kind of, well, on her backside, but she should have finished it. A little bit of composure, a little bit of breath, and she should have sort of driven that low and across.
pace is something we've definitely seen, Laura. What have you made? Because it is, as I said before the game, a new look front three, but they have caused Japan problems.
Yeah, for sure. And what I like is they're looking for each other as well. So we're looking forward more, we're looking positive. And I just think that we're looking to play each other in. Jordan Nobbs as well from midfield has been busting a gut to join them. And it feels like we're going central, going direct, and that there's at least 3-4 players in the picture, and you need as many. If we can attack in more numbers, then we will create chances.
We're seeing Beth England there, a big first half. There was so much attention on her, wasn't there, because people thought she should have started in the first game. She had a couple of good chances that maybe she would have buried in the WSL, but how will she reflect on that half?
Yeah, it's not the WSL though. You know, this is international football against international goalkeepers. She'll reflect on it. She'll be disappointed that she didn't score to convert those chances as she has been doing, but getting in the right areas, making those correct runs, how they've synchronised and interlinked, as you said, Jordan Nobbs and the other two of that front three, they look like they played together loads of times before. So it's all the positive stuff that Beth England has done this season. We've seen on the pitch in this first 45. She'll just want to convert in the second half.
Would you say Jordan Nobbs has made a bit of a difference in the middle as well? Because it looks like she's driving forward a bit more.
Yeah, that's right. And she's showing to feet for the defenders, which draws players and offers Beth England more space to come and occupy. Or she's running in behind and like I say, she's supporting the forward. So she's definitely lively in the air, creating things happen.
And she's orchestrating things as well. Yeah. You can see her pointing, she can see her telling players where to go. She's being that real leader that England, on occasions have lacked in midfield.
What's the message from Phil at half-time, do you think?
More of the same. Create chances, look forward, attack in numbers, more positive. But then we need to be ruthless. If we're going to, make Japan pay.
Well, hello and a very warm welcome to those viewers who are joining us now on BBC 4. We are midway through our analysis of England's half-time performance. The first half has just finished. It's Japan versus England, still goalless. We'll have USA versus Spain on the iPlayer from 9 p.m. But we are off now to BBC 4, so if you aren't watching on the iPlayer, do join us. Well, thank you to those of you who have turned over your TV and stuck with us on BBC 4. It's great to have you with us. It is goalless between Japan and England as it stands. I'm joined in the studio by Laura Bassett and Rachel Brown-Finnis. We've discussed England already. Let's have a little look at that Japan first half, because they also caused England lots of problems.
Yeah, I think they did. I think me and Brownie were saying that we've kept them to outside the area, and I think it's been quite predictable. But Ellie Roebuck has still had to be sure, be safe, and make that save, and maybe add an unnecessary corner and invite a little bit more pressure. But, I think you can see some of the tracking in midfield, and it's that in between. If they get in behind our midfield, do our defenders stay or come out? I think ideally you'd want a centre-back to come out, but if there is that uncertainty, it's difficult.
It is, and Japan can punish you. Yes, they can play short passes in midfield, but they can play that long, more direct ball. And Tanaka has been. She came on at half-time in the Spain game, and for me made a huge difference. Just that raw pace and ability to be direct. She's got on the back shoulder of the England defenders and caused us problems.
I'm surprised you haven't pointed out that you highlighted Sagita before the game. We've just seen one of her chances there as well.
Yeah, that's right. She's been pivotal. If you give her time and space, she can pinpoint any ball, left or right foot. We saw that fantastic left-footed shot we had. So I just think, we need to... Although we're very good in midfield going forward, Kira Walsh in possession can spray any ball, but out of possession, that midfield need to really get tight to prevent them having time and space.
Jill Scott, who's not playing tonight, she's one of those tenacious players who, out of possession, will do endless running to try and put pressure on the likes of Sagita, who can be influential.
Laura's girl, Sagita. I feel like we have to also talk about Ellie Roebuck as well, because we talked about her before the game and we saw that she did make a couple of good saves as well. Yeah,
when called upon, she's been concentrating on it. She's been ready to deal with whatever's been in front of her. There was, one cross that when she analysed it, she could have probably done better with. But, for a 20-year-old coming in, assuming the #1 jersey for England, she's done a really steady job. She's a pretty good talker on the pitch. Things look organised in front of her and the distribution's been solid.
It has, and the fullbacks as well, something we talked about before the game as well. We wanted a more solid back four. What have you made of Rachel Daly, for instance?
Yeah, we're used to having Lucy Bronze, aren't we? Very powerful, very quick. And Rachel Daly has those physical attributes in abundance. So when we're used to, you know, we tend to be right-side dominant, and I think we still are today. Rachel Daly fits that profile perfectly, and we've seen in the World Cup she can play higher up. You know, she does like to attack. For the NWSL for Houston, she plays as a centre forward, so she likes to go forward anytime she can. But I think she's been very solid today.
So, Phil, overall, be happy, hopefully, with that first half. Well, there is second half commentary coming for you very soon, but there is plenty more football and sport to look forward to on the BBC. The USA and Spain go head-to-head on the iPlayer later tonight. England's final game is live on BBC 4 on Wednesday nights. 5 Live have full commentary of Leicester versus Aston Villa in the Premier League tomorrow night, as well as the return of the Champions League on Tuesday. Tottenham need to overturn a 1-0 deficit when they go to Leipzig. And it's a rather big Friday night on BBC One.
I hope you brought your A game. On your marks and get set for Sport Relief 2020.
Competition started already, people!
Are there any coppers in this city that aren't actually bent?
Come on, Andy!
I cannot believe how bad that shot is.
Let's get dancing.
Stars of sport and screen join together for an unmissable night of entertainment, fun and fundraising. Oh! Sport Relief, Friday at 7 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Well, that really is something to look forward to on Friday, isn't it? But we're going to go now from international football back to the WSL. On International Women's Day as well, we bring you a really powerful story. This comes from the West Ham captain, Gilly Flaherty, who's been sitting down with Joe Curry and opening up on her mental health battles.
I didn't know what to do, I didn't know where to go, I didn't know who to talk to. I went through tough times. If I can get myself out and save myself, then anybody can. I'm bubbly, do you know what I mean? I'm outgoing, I'm always smiling and always happy, and that's how I am now. But that wasn't how I was 11 years ago. I've always had the side of me which is probably my biggest critic. I'm so tough and harsh on myself all the time, and that stems from a very young age like that. I just never thought that I was good enough. I remember being 16 and a coach telling me that I was fat, basically. I was living away from home. I wasn't close to my family at all. When I was 10s, 12s, 14s, like if we lost, I'd cry because it hurt that much. And then it got to an age where I was 15, 16, 17, where crying weren't allowed. And then obviously I was dealing with the fact that I knew deep down that I was gay and I didn't know how to handle that. So there was a range of things that I was dealing with, and to be honest, completely honest, I didn't deal with them, really.
Was there a point where things got really bad?
Yeah, there was a point when I made the decision that I was going to take an overdose at 17. And yes, sorry.
Don't apologise at all. It's a huge thing that you're talking about.
And it was so, like, sad now when I think about it, because I should have spoke to my mum and dad, do you know what I mean? And I remember going to the hospital, my mum and dad coming in and crying. The reason for me doing it was because I just couldn't cope. It was just such a build-up that I didn't know how to handle it, and I just thought, do you know what, I'm just better off not being here. In regards to football on the pitch, like, I'm tough. I'll stand up for myself, but don't mean that I'm that tough off the pitch.
How surprised do you think your teammates, friends and family will be to realise what you went through?
Yeah, I think they'll be shocked. This is why I felt like I had to say it, because it's the people that you least expect it from. Even if someone's got everything going on in their life, doesn't mean they're not going through a tough time.
Chelsea are the pride of West London, and they have won the FA Cup.
I'm in a position where people will look at me and go, Gilly Flaherty's done that. Like, of all the people, you'd never expect it. Like, if I'm feeling that way, if she can have the courage to come out about it and talk to thousands and whatever millions of people about it, then I can talk to my friends, I can talk to my family, I can talk to a counsellor, but you have to talk. I used to always say when I was younger, like, emotionally constipated. But now, I'm just like, I'll cry at anything. I'll watch the telly and I'll sit there watching something about dogs and I'll sob my eyes out. I'll watch the soaps and I'll cry my eyes out. And I'll look to my partner's doing exactly the same thing. Like, but now I don't care. Like, I don't care about crying. I don't care about showing emotion, because it's who I am.
Details of organisations offering information and support with mental health are available now at bbc.co.uk/actionline, or you can call for free on the number on the screen now, 08000 155 998. Well, that was a quite remarkable interview there with Gilly Flaherty, and incredible bravery to open up like that.
Yeah, I mean, having played against her for many years, you would never have expected her to have been going through some of those horrible things. But she says she's not tough off the pitch, but having done that interview and opened up for the benefit of herself, but more so for the benefit of the platform that she's on and all the people to be watching to inspire them, I hold my hands up to her. Amazing girl.
Yeah, definitely. You know, speaking so openly is so brave of her, and it's inspired all of us, really, that, you know, if we are in tough times, that talk and open up.
It certainly has almost felt like watching that, VT, that just speaking to Jo there helped her getting it off her chest a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. And I've played alongside Gilly, and she is so emotional, but on the pitch she's so tough and brave. But she cares, and she's such a caring person and passionate. And it is brilliant that she's been able to, you know, to speak up like that.
Certainly is. A big thank you to Gilly Flaherty for sharing her story with us. But now we're turning our attention back to Japan versus England.
It is Japan against England in the SheBelieves Cup. Hemp is in! On the shot, and it's a good save. England, she should have scored. Beth England, another good save from the keeper. Nip and tuck, cancelling each other out at the moment.
Well, the second half is kicking off very shortly. You can see the players and Phil Neville there with some final instructions to Jordan Nobbs. We said before, probably very happy with her first half performance. What else do you think he'll have been saying to those players?
I think more positivity, more playing forward. The more final third entries that we can have, the more chances we have to score. But certainly we've been putting this back line under pressure by either closing them down or balls in through, so more of that.
I think, you know, one, they have to be on the front foot a little bit more, whether it's checking your shoulders on the half turn to be able to play forward. There were times where Kira, Jordan, midfielders had the ball but were guilty of taking the easy option and going backwards. But secondly, on the front foot defensively, checking what's going to be the problem, what's in front of you, and how can I anticipate intercepting the ball, or at least pressurising so they don't have those easy 30, 40, 50-yard balls that they put England backline under pressure so much in the first half.
Well, it was an enjoyable first half. Hopefully we'll get some goals in this second half. I'm going to hand you back now to our commentary team of Sue Smith and Robin Cowan.
Thanks, Kelly. Both teams back out on the pitch at the Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey. It looks like the same teams that ended the first half. An enforced change right at the end, that first 45 for Japan, with Risa Shimizu coming off with an ankle injury and Jun Endo coming on at left back. She had a very difficult time against Spain in their first game, so something for England to think about perhaps. I'm sure Phil Neville has reminded his side that that might be a potential opening for them. England kick us off. They are in the all-red kit, kicking from left to right, and Sue Smith, we were just saying that something spectacular or an error needs to happen, doesn't it, to really get this game going?
Yeah, it was just a little bit flat in the first half. I know England created a couple of opportunities that I'm sure they will have felt they could have done better, and you think if one of those goes in, just give them the confidence to continue. But I think a positive is the fact that they are creating those opportunities. It's just about now being clinical and taking them.
With England trying to play it out from the back, they managed to wriggle their way through a few times, and I think that is because Jordan Nobbs is on the pitch. She plays for a side that play in that way and happy to receive the ball in any situation, pretty much.
Yeah. England are a better team when Jordan Nobbs plays. You know, not only technically how good she is, wants to get on the ball, wants to keep things ticking over, but she will make those runs forward and create overloads in the final third.
Missed the World Cup, of course, with that anterior cruciate ligament injury. Big miss for England. A big couple of years coming up for Jordan Nobbs. Daly onto Nobbs. See what she was trying to do. Just cut out.
You could see even there, you know, a mistake by her gives the ball away, but her first thought is to get back and make sure they win the ball back as quickly as possible. And players react to that. You could see they all responded to that work rate.
There's a foul on Sugita.
It's a definite foul, wasn't it? Spoke about the work rate. That was probably just a little bit too much. Pushing the back.
Out from the set piece. It's Endo. Creeps its way towards the teammates, and Japan try and work something here. Wayward effort. Maniki.
Again, it's a long-range effort. I think England will be quite happy with that.
The current holders of this competition. England won it for the first time last year, drawing with the USA and then wins against Brazil and Japan. Real positive going into the World Cup. Just after 3 o'clock local time. Anyway, but just struggling with the sun a little bit. Oh, Sugita's lost it. England. Block is made, and the corner is given to England.
It's great pressure there from England, and that's what they can do. We've seen Spain do that on numerous occasions where they pressed high up the field, and sometimes they just take too many touches. And it's a lovely no-look pass then to Beth England on her left foot. Good defending.
England work it short. Stanway delivers. Flick by Horton doesn't quite come off. Debbie Stokes back there to clear things up. Kelly's done well there. Chasing a nothing ball, really. In a corner.
She doesn't give up on that one.
Nine goals in 12 appearances for Everton this season. Chloe Kelly only behind Vivian Miedemar and Beth England in the goal scoring stakes. Referee having a word with Jun Endo and Rachel Daly. Not much of that was taken on board. Didn't look very attentive, did they? Kelly's delivery, easily taken by Sakiko Ikeda. Does not have a good record, the goalkeeper. 16th cap. She's conceded 18 goals in her previous 15. Her last appearance was a 9-0 win against Chinese Taipei. Not sure how much she had to do in that game. Certainly been busier this evening.
She's actually done okay as well. Now, I know the shots haven't really been clinical and in the corners, but what she's had to do, she's done all right. Just our luck.
Still very slow tempo.
think sometimes that's what catches you out when you play against Japan, because it can be very slow, quick, and that's when you have to react.
It was careless. Stanway giving it away. But Japan's slow. Work it forward. Short from Steph Houghton. Can't have it back. Daly goes long. Goalkeepers come. Oh. She did just enough. Beth England bearing down, just waiting for that to come into her area so she could pick it up, and it just almost slowed down. Kelly. A heavy touch, but it's going to be an England throw.
Yeah, I'm not sure the goalkeeper meant to do what she did. Got herself into the area and just managed to get on the ball before Beth got there.
That's a foul. And Chloe Kelly is going to receive a booking. Don't think there was any intent, really. Tried to play the ball.
Doesn't really look like a yellow card to me. Oh, yeah.
You immediately changed your mind.
No, I did. Yeah, you can see what she's trying to do. She's trying to keep the ball in play, but yeah, you can't do that. It is a booking.
First start, Everton striker, senior England shirt, 2 sub appearances before this. The assistant referee's given that Japan's way. Iwabuchi, such a silky, skillful player. Endo. Nagawa now on the right side of that defence. There's Tanaka, lovely reverse ball. And the final pass cut out. Haven't seen enough of that from Japan, have we, the whole tournament, really?
No, not at all. That was really well worked from Japan. Just kept the ball so well, and when they went forward with quality, because there's been times where they've got themselves into positions and they've maybe gone sideways or backwards. This is a lovely ball through. And again, just that, Steph Houghton reads it well, manages to clear, but when they do that, it's so good to watch.
Nakajima. Well dealt with by Steph Houghton. Cap number 119 today, England captain.
Yeah, they can be very off the cuff, Japan, when they go forward, and they're just told to go and express themselves and make things happen.
Kelly, that's a pinpoint pass towards Beth England. They're backing off it. England make the run here. Couldn't quite collect. She knew the goalkeeper was right on her tail. Phil Neville said in the build-up to this, when he did say that Beth England is going to start today, that all he wants is for her to do exactly what she does for Chelsea, but it's very difficult because it's very different circumstances, isn't it? She doesn't have the Chelsea team behind her.
No, of course it is, and it's a step up in standard as well. When you're playing international football, you have to do things so much quicker. I think the girls spoke about that in the studios before the game. But of course, you wanted to play her game. I think that's probably what he was meaning. What she does at Chelsea, still do the same things. Just because you're playing for your country, don't change that. Still be confident, still have a go, and certainly got herself into great positions. She's working so hard off the ball. The only thing that's missing really is the goal.
She has scored a couple, but for England. There's the Czech Republic. And Brazil. Kelly with the corner. That's a good header. Under pressure from England. Straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. That's a good distribution as well. Danny Stokes trying to shut the door on this Japan attack. Really nicely done. Sugita. Here is Mina Tanaka. Cross in towards Nakajima. Now Endo. Stokes will bring it away. England changes. Kira Walsh coming off. And Williamson coming on. I wonder if that means she's going to take her place in midfield. Let's wait and see. Started the game at right back against the USA. Lauren Hemp coming off for Tony Duggan, her first action of the SheBelieves tournament. Chloe Kelly coming off for Nikita Paris. More experienced look now to this England side. Paris straight into the action. Nobbs. That's good strength from Paris, drawing the foul. Excellent impact.
Brilliant. And to bring those quality calibre of substitutes on, you know, straight away Nikita Paris wants to get on the ball, wants to run at the defenders. Maybe that little spark that England need. I think you mentioned it, Leah Williamson, I think has gone into that holding midfield role. She does so well at Arsenal. Can play centre-half, can play full-back, but I like her in that holding midfield role. A range of passing, a technique. Reads the game so well.
For most WSL games anyway for Arsenal, she almost takes up that position when she's a centre-half anyway.
Yeah.
Duggan to deliver. Three changes for England. You're allowed to make 6 during a game of the SheBelieves Cup. It's Duggan. Morton got there. And a miscue. Bright. Horton. That's good play from Duggan. It's a good idea to make that attempt of a pass towards Jordan Nobbs.
Again, that's what you want if your wide player comes in field. You want that overlapping run, whether it's from your fullback, whether it's from one of your midfielders. Try and create those 2v1s out wide.
Williamson. She knew Tanaka was coming. Foul. Gallup. Bright sends it forward towards Duggan. His clearance straight to Rachel Daly.
It's much better pressurising from England there as well. As Beth England pressed the goalkeeper, you could see everybody stepped up and there wasn't a passing option then for Japan.
Williamson. Stanway. Dispossess. Ibuchi was touch tight. And Miki, I should say. Pressure by Paris.
Yeah, and what she did so well was made sure that she didn't go to the wide player that she'd just left. Keep her going that way. Her body position was perfect.
Earlier in the game, England kept getting caught offside from a very high Japanese line. That seems to have fizzled out a little bit. I wonder if they've really dropped any deeper. Just wonder if Paris could provide that threat. Coolly done for the goalkeeper. The game she's having. Award in the year of Tony Duggan.
Was anything in that?
Quite late though, wasn't it? After the ball had gone.
Yeah, I think she was trying to get out of the way.
Well, no card. Certainly no card.
Fellow Scouts have got to stick up for her, haven't I?
Is that a thing, the Scousers Union?
Yeah.
Didn't know about that. Well, Japan could be in here. Good block, Millie Bright. Substitute Riko Ueki.
Millie Bright does so well here, just watches the ball, who doesn't watch her legs. Tries to twist in and out, good defending.
A very young Japanese player coming on, Ueki, 20 years old. She might get another chance here. It's Mamiki. Tanaka, again, charged down by Demi Stokes this time.
Yeah, that was a better pass from Mamiki. Japan would have been in there. It was just a little bit behind. Had to check her run. Tanaka.
Space here for Jordan Nobbs. It's time to pick her head up and pick out the cross. A little bit too much on it for Beth England. The only player really in a red shirt to aim for. Nearly found her. England slips it through towards Nikita Paris, and again, weight of pass not there. Change up front for England. It's the England of Beth who's going to come off. Ellen White scored twice in that 2-0 win against Japan in the group stage of the World Cup. Incidentally, Lucy Staniforth scored the first goal against Japan last year when England went on to win the SheBelieves Cup. Haven't seen too much playing time, Lucy Staniforth. I think simply because of the options that England have in that midfield, but very good player. Stanway off for Staniforth. An eventful time for Staniforth just before the international break, scoring for Birmingham in the FA Cup against her former side Sunderland and immediately getting sent off. I think there was some crowd trouble, something which is unusual in women's game.
I was going to say, very unlike that in the women's game. Don't want that creeping in.
Murphy's ball is gathered by Roebuck. A couple of good saves in the first half, has had very little to do in the second.
You can see what she was trying to do, cutting in on her right foot and trying to curl it into that far corner, but it was a weak effort. Easily collected there by Roebuck.
Harris just runs into traffic there. I think she wanted the foul, not forthcoming. Beth England's performance, so overall pretty good.
Yeah, I think a really good performance. She'll be disappointed herself because she'll feel she probably should have scored a couple of those opportunities, but yeah, I think she linked the play well. I thought her movement, her runs were very good. You know, when she reflects and watches the game, I think she'll know that she's had a good performance, but she's one of her biggest critics, so she'll be looking at those chances and saying that's what she'll want to improve on.
Staniforth, it's a good touch. Stokes getting forward. Japan claiming an offside. Yeah, you may have seen that pretty emotional video at the half-time break with Jenny Flaherty, and Beth England's also been speaking, saying that she does talk to a psychologist, especially when she was sent out on loan to Liverpool. But I think that turned out to be the best thing for her. She had a great season for them. She hasn't looked back.
It's not been easy for her. You know, at Chelsea, she's had to play different positions. She went out on loan, and it just shows that the strength and character that she has, the season that she's has been absolutely phenomenal.
Just wanted to, well, it's clearly she's more comfortable playing as a number 9, the Chelsea shirt. It's like a well-oiled machine, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think the fact that Sam Kerr's come massive coup for Chelsea, getting a player like that of her quality, and it's Beth England who we're talking about.
Might be an opening for Japan. Ueki was screaming for it. She'll get it now. The substitute, number 11. Past Horton, who did really well. 18 minutes to go. Chances really have dried up in the second half. Corner kick for Japan, which Emi Nakajima will take. Into the sunshine and out the other side.
It's a poor corner from a player with her quality. She's a great technician normally.
And White's not going to give this up. 6 in 6 at the World Cup for Ellen White, and then had a delayed start to her career at Man City due to injury, but 6 in 12 since then for her club.
She had an absolutely superb World Cup, didn't she? Everything that she hit went in the back of the net.
Sometimes ruled out, but it did hit the back of the net.
We won't talk about that. I think she's still hurting from that.
We all are,
yeah.
so. She's always been a very good player, isn't she? But it was like, even though at this sort of later stage of her career, she came of age in that tournament. A soft foul, but foul nonetheless. And a free kick in a good position. Fourth, and a swing and a miss from Jordan Nobbs.
It wasn't actually a bad delivery. There was just no runs really to the front post. Ellen White had gone more central. There's a runner at the back post, but
oh dear, Nikita Paris, that did not sound good. Difficult to see what happened there.
No, I didn't see it all. It's just a scream. Never nice to hear. Just seemed like a challenge coming in on her. I think that was the initial one. So as Nikita come in, she seemed to land on her after the ball, maybe. Is it on her ankle?
I think that was it. That was when the pain came. Junendo landed on her. Already seen a Japan player have to come off the pitch earlier in the first half for an ankle injury.
It's like they're checking her knee, but hopefully she'll. That's good that she's getting up.
Painful one, but looks like she'll be okay.
Just an awkward fall, wasn't it?
Nami Ueno is coming on for Japan. Final quarter of an hour or so. To knock it off. A bit of sweeper keepering from Ikeda. Sugita. It's going to go up and run towards the row back anyway. Good touch by Jordan Nobbs. And White couldn't quite get the return pass right. Stokes. Good play from the youngster, Ueki. Straight on Rachel Daly and drawing the foul.
As soon as Rachel Daly took a touch, Ueki got straight in there, made Daly make the foul. I'd actually like to see Daly and Demi Stokes on the other side get forward a little bit more. We've only seen it on a couple of occasions.
Endo. Paris back on the field. Nicely done from Ellen White. Williamson. Nutmeg from Nikita Paris. Great ball for Jordan Nobbs. Ellen White has made her way into the middle. White got ahead of her defender. Great movement.
Ball started from Nikita Paris there. Nice bit of play. Sets off Jordan Nobbs, and like you say, if you watch Ellen White's movement, it's great play.
Just see, you thought she was making her way to the back post, then suddenly there she was. Force back. It's been disciplined, hasn't it, from Japan? Perhaps given the result and the performance against Spain, that's more what they were looking for today.
Yeah, I think they learned from that game.
So the referee has pulled this back. Williamson and Staniforth discussing how best to approach this. Staniforth's delivery, couple at the back post, a miss hit from Nikita Paris. Forcing forward, that's a decent ball. It's Duggan. And it's blocked away for a corner.
What a ball that is. Quality crossfield pass.
Staniforth, it's deep towards Millie Bright. No one on the second ball.
I just feel gamble on that. You know that Millie Bright's going to win that.
What's been lacking today, Sue? What do you think?
I think it's just been, they have...
This could be an opening. Duggan, White! And there it is. Finally the breakthrough. With 8 minutes left of normal time. Another huge error from Japan. And England capitalise. And Ellen White has another goal in an England shirt.
Just as you were saying, what's lacking from an England perspective, I was going to say it's that finish, because they have got themselves into decent opportunities but haven't finished it off. Great press in there initially from Williamson, and then Toni Duggan, she's the one that wins the ball back. That's a great ball, and what a finish that is. Gets herself into a really good position. The goalkeeper thinks she's going to go one way, just opens her body out, plays it into the bottom corner, and there's that famous celebration.
That is a really exquisite finish from Ellen White. Opening up her body. But it was gifted to them, let's be honest.
Yeah, it certainly was. And they've been better than they were against Spain for those individual errors, but another individual error.
England on the attack again. Maybe that goal has opened the floodgates. Duggan. Well fielded by Ikeda. Two of the substitutes combining for that goal.
I think that's what's so good now about these competition for places, isn't it? They're experienced players, Ellen White and Toni Duggan, and yet they're coming on and having to and wanting to prove a point, even though we've seen them do it again and again on the international stage. There's these young players pushing them.
Okay, it's good skill, but let's go back inside. Murat goes long. That clears the danger for now. Build up from Japan. It's going to be an England goal kick.
This is the goal again. That's a lovely dinked-in ball, but it's just the way she gives the goalkeeper the eyes. Ikeda, she goes to go one way, opens it up, and just a cool, calm finish.
There is so much to weigh up in that nanosecond, isn't there? She's just become such a clinical finisher, especially for England. Foul by Paris. England get a tad fortunate. Paris. And White breaking into this near side. Our SheBelieves Cup coverage does continue later on. USA against Spain tonight. You can watch that on the iPlayer from 9 o'clock. Vicky Sparks and Izzy Christensen bring commentary of that. And then England against Spain, the final group game for them, Wednesday 9 o'clock on BBC 4. Here is Paris. Time to size up the cross. Tony Duggan, well, didn't do very well with the header, maybe could have gone down. Good cross from Paris.
It's a great cross from Paris. Again, showing a pace on this right-hand side. I like it, Tony Duggan in the face.
We've all been there.
Yeah, it was the sun. Again, should have done better, really.
It's a good ball from Staniforth. Ellen White is offside.
Tight, but it's the right call.
There's been a few of those. They're just like Japan. It's the edge of your seat stuff, isn't it? I mean, they're going to play like this. First of all, they have to count the errors because they're not going to beat anyone if they keep doing that. And also, they need to pose a greater attacking threat. Nakajima, another long-range effort straight at Ellie Roebuck. Still working their way back to where they were when they won the World Cup in 2011. It was such a long time ago now. But it's a team with a clear identity through the years.
Yeah. And even through the age groups, they never changed that way of playing. And it has been a transitional period, lots of young players coming through from the younger age groups. But they do need to cut out the defensive errors, exactly what you say. I'm sure they'll get there.
Just wonder if the Olympics will come a bit too soon for this side. It should be a real shame with it being a home Olympics, very proud history of women's football. But you never know.
I think you mentioned earlier that they are out of season, so I'm sure that sharpness will improve. It's a great tournament for them to test themselves, get some top nations.
Into stoppage time. A much needed win on the cards for England. Looks like Ellen White scored the winner. Jill Scott's going to get a couple of seconds. Jordan Nobbs, good game. I think she's still not quite back to her very, very best, but that's completely understandable.
Oh, it's a long-term out, a long-term injury that's going to take you time to get back to the levels that she were at. But I thought it was an excellent performance from her today.
Just getting there, certainly.
Yeah. And you've seen that with Arsenal. You've seen her gradually build up. Just good to have her back.
Those types of injuries, it can take as long as it takes, really. USA Spain to follow, 9 o'clock on the iPlayer. Hopefully Vicky Sparks and Izzy Christensen will bring you a bit more goalmouth action from that one. interesting tactical battle. Both teams wanting to press. But there it is. A win is a win for England. Far from their sparkling best, but Ellen White the difference. Not the first time we've said that, Sue.
Not at all. She come on and made a difference, got herself into great positions, fantastic finish from her. And I have to say that, like you said, a win is a win, and you can see how much it means to those players. They wanted that. Now the big game is against Spain. Let's see how they cope against them, but have to praise them, had to be patient, defended well, and got the goal that they needed.
Much needed victory for England then. They've beaten Japan in Harrison, New Jersey by a 1-0.
Well, they left it late, didn't they? But once again, Ellen White is the Lionesses' hero. Her 83rd minute strike, meaning England are up and running in the She Believes. Rach, what's your feeling after that one? Is it relief? How do you feel?
I wasn't blown away, but there were spells of football from England that, you know, I was really pleased with. So some of the attacking play in the first half excited me, you know, seeing some of the young players come in and take their league form into international duty. And, you know, when we did see some of the tried and trusted faces come on in the second half, ultimately it was that clinical finish that has edged it for England.
Laura, what did you make of it? Because I know we were getting a little bit frustrated in the studio. We were seeing good England moves, but lacking the final pass, the cutting edge. Ellen comes on, as she does so often, and provides it.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why Ellen White has to start in an England team. She really does. For international football, she's one on her own. She's outstanding. But I think if this was in World Cup, you know, we would be happy with this. We got the result. Was the performance there for consistency in 90 minutes? No, it wasn't. But we got the result. I think with big changes like that, so many changes, it does hint of a training game, and you'd miss your connections and working with people, and you do lack that. And I think that was shown. It was quite bitty and stop-start in the second half. But you know, it's a win, and we were expecting.
Yeah,
we were expected to win tonight, and we did.
I feel like I should take some responsibility. I tempted fate a little bit, didn't I? Because I said it was a good first half, and all we needed was a goal. Well, that goal was actually the first shot on target for England of the entire second half. But as we said there, it was decisive, and this is what Ellen does best. But also, Rach, it comes from England's press, doesn't it?
Comes from England's press, forces the error, the sloppy pass. But I mean, it was clinical when it happened. It was Tony Duggan who really picked out a precise ball, and we chatted during commentary, World Cup replica, isn't it, of where you saw Beth Mead playing the ball into Jodie Taylor or to Ellen White. Tony Duggan cuts it here.
And when the play's building up from Japan, what Ellen does, she goes in between the centre-backs, she finds space and she's ready, she's waiting for an England press to win it, and she finds herself in some great positions, and then she only needs one touch, and that for a keeper is so hard to save when it's so close to her.
And if Beth England needed reminding of what is expected at international level, the chances that she had in the first half compared to the one chance that Ellen had in the second half, that is what it's all about as number 9.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of these chances that Beth England had and some of the other players for England had in that first half. Because, as I said, that was when the majority of them came, when England really were on that front foot. And had they taken these, it would have been a very different story.
Yeah, Lauren Hemp impressed me and impressed me in the last game against the USA as well. She got a chance to be more offensive in this game than she was in the USA. Just missed, you know, again, that clinical bit that we desperately needed. Because I think if England had scored in one of these chances in the first half, we could have easily gone in 2-3-0 up in the first half.
But I think it's really exciting for England that, you know, we're ready, we're OK to let the defence have it. And then when we can see and smell and sense a mistake, we're ready to capitalise. We've got great forwards in great positions. And it's that first-time pass, it's the quality, like the quality that was shown for the goal from Tony Duggan. You know, we did see hints of that in the first half from Chloe Kelly, from Jordan. And that's exactly what we're going to need to get into that final third and test the keeper.
And that second chance for Beth England, you mentioned Jordan Nobbs. Jordan Nobbs, for me, was the player of the match. She came off right at the end, but she was instrumental in everything positive that England did, both defensively, but certainly running out wide, as we've seen Jill Scott do in the past, in that sort of 8-10 position. But being that orchestrator, as I said at half-time, I feel she was really key in England's positive stuff.
It's kind of what we said before the game as well. It isn't just about the forward players, it's about needing that creativity from midfield, that forward pass, about the player that gets their head up and wants to play that pass.
Yeah, that's right. But it's kind of cat and mouse, because if you've got time and space on the ball, you look up and you see the runners, or do the runners go first for the ball to go afterwards? But that's where the connections do come. The more you play with each other, you get to know those connections. But that's where sometimes it's interrupted when so many interchanges and subs are made.
And when you've got Kira Walsh and Jordan Nobbs playing together, I think they really complement each other well. If Kira hasn't got time on the ball, Jordan will provide an outlet for Kira to go first time long. They're two very, very different players, and I think that always works well in midfield.
Well, that's Rachel and Laura's thoughts. We can now hear from the Lionesses boss, Phil Neville. He's been speaking to Katie Gornall.
Well, Phil, you said beforehand you wanted your side to be relentless and ruthless. You could have just been talking about Ellen White. How much of a relief was it for you when that goal went in?
Well, it was funny before the game. You look at her record at this stadium. She scored 2 last year. She scored 1 the year before the game. She was USA. And I said to her today that you might think this is your lucky stadium, and it will still be today. You'll get on and score. And I thought Beth England was fantastic in the first half. In the second half, she tied a little bit. Could have had a goal herself. But you know what? I think what's been a little bit disrespectful over the last probably 5 to 10 days is probably the lack of respect for Ellen White and what she's achieved over the last 6 to 8 months. She's one of the best strikers in the world, and I think she's set the bar really high for everybody else to challenge her. And I think the thing about today was we feel within the camp there's a real spirit building and togetherness, but to get real togetherness, I think it comes from winning, and winning I think is really important. Winning is what I think is the most important thing about top level sport, and the happiness within the squad today and the togetherness really pleased me, and the relentlessness of going right to the very end.
It was a young attacking lineup that you originally named. What was your overriding thoughts on their performance and how it worked at the start?
Well, I think what you saw from Chloe Kelly is that she can play in this arena. I think what you saw from Ellie Robert, she's carried on a progression, a development to say, this is her type of level as well. And Lauren Hemp just looks like she's born to play at this level. I thought she tired a little bit. There was periods in the game where the atmosphere and the expectation of the other night probably caught up with her, and we're going to have to manage that. But we've got some fantastic young players, and the only disappointment is that I didn't get Russo on or Fisk on to give them a little taste of the environment too.
You did create a lot of chances. Are you concerned at all that you didn't take more of them?
Yeah, I think that's probably the frustration, that it was a 3-4-0 game. It was a game where at half-time we should have been 3-0 up. We weren't, and then the longer the game went on, I thought we might get frustrated and maybe allow them to get back into it, but our control and patience was brilliant, and I'm proud of their performances.
And how much of a boost is this going into that final game of this tournament against Spain?
Well, we want to get 6 points. We want another 3 points. 6 points from, I think, the SheBelieves would be a fantastic effort from this team, and it means that we're competitive at this level, and that's the challenge over the next 2 days.
Thanks very much.
Well, it has been one of the main talking points since Thursday's game. Who is going to start up front for England? Phil Neville there, Rachel, saying that maybe people have been a bit disrespectful towards Ellen White, even in those comments over the past few days.
I'm not quite sure what he means by that, because I think people were saying they wanted Beth England to start because she's in form, but he started Ellen White, and with good reason to. She's done it before. She's tried and tested at this level, and she's clinical. And I don't think Beth England would be in as scintillating form for club as she would be if Ellen White hadn't been such a role model to her at England level for such a long time, because Beth England has been kind of around out on loan at different clubs and has maybe lacked a little bit of confidence at times earlier on, but now she's stepped up to this level because she's had someone to chase, someone to look up to, and I think she filled the shoes pretty well. It's only, I think, a second cap for Beth England, so she created so much, synced up exceptionally well with Lauren Hemp, Jordan Nobbs in behind her, and Chloe Kelly on the right, that she fit into it perfectly. She just needs to add that edge.
I think one thing as well that Phil kind of didn't mention was the fact maybe that people were actually calling for both of them to start. He did make substitutions today. He made 6 in total, but the thing that we pointed out was that he didn't change formation. This was the 11 that started, so he stuck with his tried and tested 4-3-3, which I know Leanne and Alex were in this studio the other day saying he needs to start with the 2 up front.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. I think, you know, where Ellen and where Beth are in their England careers are two different places. So to compare them, you know, would be wrong, but to play them together would be fantastic. I do think that second half it did get a little dull and with the so many changes, but we changed personnel for trait, physicality for physicality, rather than a formation change or two centre forwards or a different outlook. It was more like player for exactly the same player.
Exactly. You know, like Stanway came on, Staniforth came on for Stanway, and they're both exactly 10s, and you know what they can do. Paris for Chloe Kelly, again, pacey right-wing players. Lauren Hemp for Tony Duggan, 11s all the time. And so it was a bit stale. It deflated me a little bit seeing the like-for-like substitutions. I would have loved to have seen, like you said, thrown on Ellen White alongside Beth England. I mean, it would have refreshed everything and given the opportunity, because you do need a plan B at times, and
definitely.
I'm not sure how competent and the girls would be at doing that.
Well, it would be interesting to see, wouldn't it? Well, for now, we are going to hear from the match winner, Ellen White. She's with Katie Gornell.
Ellen, you've got a great record against Japan. I bet you were buzzing with that.
Yeah, of course. I think we changed the squad a little bit, but I thought the players that started the game and finished the game done an amazing job. We wanted a clean sheet. We wanted a positive performance after USA, and I think everyone really showed grit, determination, and yeah, I'm delighted to contribute any way I can for England. And I love the stadium. I love USA playing here. So yeah, we're really pleased to have that momentum going into the Spain game.
Was that the sort of game where you just had to be patient, really? Because you did create some chances building into that. There was danger of it becoming quite a frustrating game for England.
Yeah, definitely. We had some chances. It could have been 3 or 4-0. They had a few chances as well. And if you give the ball away against Japan, they'll hold on to it for a while. So we had to be patient. We had to be really diligent in the way that we pressed the ball, we defended, and the way we went forward as well. So, yeah, overall, we're really pleased.
How pleasing is it for you personally, given the injuries that you've had, the time that you've spent on the sidelines to come on and get such an important goal like that?
Yeah, well, I feel like that I'm over that. You know, when I came back for England against Germany, I felt a lot better, and yeah, I love playing for England. It's always a dream for me to play for my country and contribute any way I can, and yeah, I'm delighted to get on the score sheet, but first and foremostly, it's about a clean sheet and a win for us.
And what can this do then for what is essentially quite a young squad, a new look squad, going into that final game, as you mentioned, against Spain?
I think it just gives us a lot of confidence and belief in what we're doing. What we're doing is right, and the hard work we're putting in is coming to fruition now. But we've just got to be really patient in what we're doing behind the scenes and how we're working. And I think that's really important. And hopefully this result is met. More will come from this. So yeah, we're excited to play Spain now. Thanks so much. Cheers.
Well, the noise in the stadium there, not because England are still out there warming down or anything. I think that's because the USA and Spain are now out on the pitch. A reminder, that game is at 9 p.m. on the iPlayer if you do want to watch that one. An interesting interview with Ellen White there. We were wondering, weren't we, if she was going to be asked if she'd like to play up front with Beth England. We'll have to wait and see if that does happen. What positives can we take from this? Because we've found some in the clinical finishing and the fact that they can take these chances, but there's still work to be done.
I think the positives we need to take are what Ellen mentioned in her interview, that they pressed from the front and they got a reward from it. And, you know, we're not privy to what the underlying philosophies and what Phil Neville and the squad actually want to get from this tournament. You know, is it about winning it? Is it about blooding younger players? Is it all about 2021 and the Euros and making progress towards that? Is it about playing people in different positions? We're not quite sure. So for them, you know, it could be a huge win because they've achieved an objective that they're set out to do in this game. So, you know, us as pundits, we can kind of analyse games, we can critique them, but we don't actually know what the objectives are from the England squad as before they set out before the tournament and before each individual game.
I think a positive for me is that, like Ellen said, we won, we got a clean sheet, but also Japan were never really in the game, were they? I was never really under that much pressure where I thought, you know, maybe possession-wise they had some good possession, some good moves, but they didn't really, you know...
Ellen's happy issues with her husband. He travels everywhere with her, doesn't he? Great to see there. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
You wouldn't want a man kissing a woman behind you without knowing about it.
Yeah, on my shoulder. But yeah, so, you know, we were expected to win and we delivered that performance.
We did. I think we found the positives in the end, didn't we? What happens now? What do you want to see differently or more of the same against Spain? Because that's a big game.
Yeah, Phil talked about not having the opportunity to play Alessia Russo and Grace Fisk, and I think he would love to come out of the tournament having given them some game time. For that to happen, I think England need to find themselves in a comfortable situation against Spain. Having seen Spain the other night, and obviously I'll be watching the game later on, they look pretty formidable. It'll be a very different task playing against Spain from a tactical perspective than it is against Japan, because of how they set up, how they play, what their threats are and what their susceptibilities are.
It also probably comes down to what you said as well about what their aims are, whether Phil really wants to see all of those young players or he thinks I need to name my strongest side and go and win this trophy.
Yeah, I would 100% like Phil to, go into that game and it be a must-win game, whatever that is, changes in formations, but pick your best 11 and use it. Don't make 6 subs. Just make as many subs as you feel necessary to impact that game. Use it as a must-win game. That's what I'd like to see, because we need to get used to those scenarios.
But it's going to be another tough game, isn't it? We talked before, you're a big fan of the way Spain play. They're real, maybe not the underdogs, but the ones that are going about it quietly, dark horses.
Well, they're underdogs ranking-wise, but they are on the up. They've moved up and up and up and up, and play really impressive football. Probably the most technical football of any female international team. Really impressed me, and there'll be tough opposition on Wednesday.
Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. They made us wait until the 83rd minute, but England still believe they can win the SheBelieves trophy. Make sure you join us on Wednesday. We'll see you then.
It is Japan against England in the SheBelieves Cup. Hemp is in! On the shot, and it's a good save. England, she should have scored. Beth England, another good save from the keeper. Lucky's ball is gathered by Roebuck. Duggan, White! And there it is. Finally the breakthrough. A win is a win for England. Ellen White the difference.